We might say he dotted every I and crossed every T. A Hebrew speaker would say he swished every jot and swirled every tittle. Jot was the smallest Hebrew letter, the letter Yod. Tittle was the smallest stroke of a pen, a tiny flourish that distinguished the two most similar Hebrew letters. And Jesus says, when it comes to the law, he is an absolute stickler for every word, every letter, every speck of Moses. Matthew chapter 5 from verse 17. Jesus says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished." In the older translations, not a jot or tittle will disappear from the law. Notice that Jesus does not say that he is a law keeper. No, he's much more than that. He is a law fulfiller. He doesn't merely abide by the law, he fills it full. What does that mean? Well, imagine that we go to the pub and we stand at the bar and you hand me a pint glass. Now that could mean one of two things, depending on whether or not the glass is full. If you hand me an empty glass, then I know that you're making a demand. It must be my round. I have to pay to fill up your glass. But if you hand me a full glass, then that's a gift for me to enjoy. With a full glass, I take it within myself and enjoy all its benefits, so to speak. It's the same with the law. Jesus has not come to abolish the law. He has come into this world as the true Israel, to live the life of faith and obedience in our place and on our behalf. He does the very opposite of abolishing the law. He submits himself in every way to the law, and he hammers out in his flesh a perfect legal obedience. Here is the Lord of Moses coming under the law of Moses and doing it right, filling it full. And now he hands it to us, not as an empty demand for us to fulfill, but as a filled out law for us to enjoy. This is vital for us to understand because Jesus is about to preach to us his interpretation of the law of Moses, and it is pure, concentrated legal perfection. He says, don't just refrain from homicides, never hate. He says, don't just refrain from adultery, never lust. He finishes off chapter 5 by saying, be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. And you think, who on earth could live up to these demands? Who is utterly free from anger, utterly free from lust? Who is perfect as God the Father is perfect? Answer, God the Son. Jesus is these things. He supremely is the perfect one described in the law. We've already seen from Matthew chapter 5 how Jesus is God's righteousness. Therefore, as he proclaims the law of loving God and loving neighbor, he's actually proclaiming his own life. He is the one who supremely loves God his Father and who supremely loves the world. And at the cross, he proves that he loves both more than he loves his own life. When you look at the cross, how could you deny that Jesus fills full the law, every jot and tittle? But now, as he hands us this good life, filled full with his own perfect obedience, we receive it as a gift. It is the good news of the kingdom, given freely to us to live out. If this law came from Moses' hand, it could only condemn us, but it comes from Christ, who is our righteousness. If this was about us fulfilling every jot and tittle, then we would be in trouble. But actually, it's about Christ fulfilling every jot and tittle. The whole expectation of Jesus here is that we are empty. We are those who, verse 6, hunger and thirst for righteousness. We are in no position to fill the law full with our own goodness, but Christ is the one who fills the law full with his goodness. Then he fills us full with his goodness and says, run along, live out this good life. Now we are sent into the world with a new life to live. Nothing needs to be earned, bought, or paid for. It's all given to us for free. Jesus has a liberated life to give us, the life of the kingdom, and now by faith we can live it. John Bunyan spoke powerfully of the difference between Moses and Jesus, between the law and its commands and the gospel and its gift, between us fulfilling the law and Jesus filling it full. Bunyan put the difference in verse. Run, John, run, the law commands, but gives us neither feet nor hands. Far better news the gospel brings. It bids us fly and gives us wings. When it comes to the law, Jesus does the filling so we can fly.